All right. Hello, ladies. I believe we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to have both of you do a quick introduction of who you are, where you come from, and what you do. And then let's get into some fun conversations of recapping the fun conference we had and then where are we at and what are we doing next. All right. Bindi, you're first up on the list, it looks like.
Awesome. Thanks, Shannon. Hi, I'm Bindi Dave. I am a seasoned cybersecurity executive, been in the industry for like 18 years, really focusing in on digital trust and what that means in our modern ecosystem with all these emerging technologies and having fun along the way. So I'm excited to be here.
All right, I'll go next.
All right, Caitlin, your turn. Yes, of course.
I was trying to find the stream on your LinkedIn so I could repost it, but I couldn't find it yet.
I'm like doing the same thing right now. So if it makes you feel any better, because it's the first time being like, it says it's live.
I see the big red live. Yeah.
You see the big red live. This is my first time. For everybody that's watching, this is the first go live. So if this is live or not live, let's see. Actually, we probably should.
I'm on your page. Oh, I see it. I see us. All right, we're good.
Oh, yeah?
Good for you, Gas. I was just double checking for you, and then I just wanted to repost it. Okay.
This is so exciting. I always see it myself. Guys, this is totally a nerd out moment. I am really excited that we are live and it's working.
My name is Caitlin Sarian. Most people weirdly know me as Cybersecurity Girl. It shouldn't be weird, but it's weird for me. Most people know me as Cybersecurity Girl. Before I did cybersecurity influencing, I was working as a consultant at EY for a while, did international consulting, came back, worked at a law firm. I specialized in cyber transformation and data privacy. And then I felt during COVID, I felt very, moved to create a TikTok channel. Ironically, even though I was in data privacy and actually telling people not to create TikTok channels for their businesses until, they moved over to the US. And they moved over and I decided I wanted to create a TikTok channel to inspire the next generation to get into cyber and demystify what cyber is. And now I am the largest cybersecurity channel in the world, which is crazy. And I'm just happy to be here.
Wait. Yeah. Largest. You are brilliant and you need to own this, but it's fabulous. And thank you for coming. But it doesn't matter. Maybe I do it. I'm your biggest cheerleader because I think it's utterly amazing what you've accomplished in this world, being a woman. I rambled too much too, by the way, everyone, but I think it's amazing what you've accomplished, right? You got 1 million followers on Instagram on a topic that nobody really likes to talk about. Like that in of itself just says
the
something,
content
right? People want to listen
so
to you.
engaging, right?
Like, guys, I'm not good at accepting compliments, so we're going to need to stop. This is making me uncomfortable. But thank you. I've been told to say thank you and move on. Thank you.
Well, that's what. To be honest with you, as we get into that, right, it's a great headway into it. You brought lots of people to the conference, right? And you brought students, but beyond that, and I would love for you to talk about how you got the students in the room, right? I had people come up to me and go, you know cybersecurity girl? I was like, yeah, she's one of my besties, right? Just like same with Bindi. You know Bindi? I'm like, yeah, they're like my besties. Like, what do you mean they're your besties? I go, well, I met them in this situation and now we talk all the time. And like, do you know how amazing it is that you're friends with them? Like, and you don't think about it because like we do what we do because we're proud of it and we're excited to participate in this world and help people. But do you know how many people are excited to know you? And then when they get to meet you, they're like, this was the best thing ever.
I feel the same way when I meet them, honestly. I'm like, my favorite part of the conference, you were so generous with tickets that I was able to do a giveaway and I think I gave like 10 or 15 tickets out to most of them were students. There was a few people that were already in like trying to get into the industry from a different industry, but it like completely changed. I feel like the trajectory like invigorated them. They were so excited. And on top of that, this is like, I will say like my favorite conference that I've been to in like years. Like I always tell people like the smaller conferences are the best conferences because you actually get time to meet with like real people versus like walking the floor and talking to like marketing people that have nothing to do with the business. But there were so many incredible people to meet. Like even for myself, I was like in awe of some of the speakers. And obviously when I got to see you and Bindi, it was like a little little girls reunion. So that was always fun. But then honestly, my favorite part was seeing the kids. I shouldn't say kids, seeing the students. We had a student competition, like a pitch competition. And because all of us wanted to meet them and like we want to help them network and we want to help them grow their brand or their themselves in cyber. And we actually asked them to pitch themselves, a little bit about themselves, tell us like who they are, what they want to do, like how they got into cyber. And then you guys gave like, I think what it was, a Mac, iPad.
Yeah.
We had like, I think 3 different gifts. Yeah, we gave an iPad.
Yeah.
Then we gave away
Ciphers.
this like
we had
Yeah.
cipher,
yeah.
2 ciphers with money in it. And then we gave away a few of the books that we were giving to the speakers.
But like,
yeah. We had 12 students speak.
I know.
12.
And I think like 6 or 7 of them were from like the giveaway. But I was like so proud of all the people that like I would have been mortified as a student to like go up there, and they all did an incredible job.
Yeah.
And I felt like it just like made the conference, I don't know, for me, I felt like it really felt like more of a family. And I feel like that's how cybersecurity used to feel. And then it's gotten so big now. And then there's been so many layoffs. Like I feel like there's been a weird kind of vibe with the cybersecurity community. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I felt like this conference made it like back to where it felt like at home, like a family. Like everyone wants to support each other. Everyone wants to support new people coming in. And that was like my favorite part. I don't know.
1000%. And Shannon, like you organized it so well, and all the different speakers and topics that you had come together was phenomenal. But different walks of life, like it was, we call them kids, and Caitlin, I'm with you. I'm like, oh yeah, the kids were great. I'm like, shoot, they're not. They're up and coming.
Yeah,
They're the
the
next
young
gen.
adults.
Yeah.
The young adults, right?
But right there, you're talking to like seasoned executives, and then these students are pitching their ideas and looking for networking and support. And I didn't realize that you had brought all those folks, or so many of those folks, together, but it was so heartwarming, and I imagine pretty impactful for them as well. And we should be supporting the next generation, right? Just like the generation above us has been supporting us.
Well, and that was Bindi, you and I didn't get to talk as much beforehand, but that's what I kept saying to Caitlin when we would talk. I want students in the room. I want people who need jobs. I want veterans. I want the people in the room that want to learn, right? It's not just about the security professional. I want both. But let's bring them together, because realistically, there's so much work that needs to be done. There's so many different aspects of it, right? We've got the technical side, we've got the GRC side, we've got the in-between, right? It's not just the hackers, right? But all of these individuals want to learn. And then the nice twist of it with AI, and what does AI do, right? A lot of people don't realize we had AI developers in the room that have nothing to do with cybersecurity speaking, right? That's what Noelle Russell did. And one of these days she's going to jump on here live too, but she's not a cybersecurity professional, but she was a nice twist to it, because she talked about responsible AI, and she talked about the bias and what's coming down, which is something we all need to hear from the developer side. It's not just theoretical. It's here's the real things. Now we as individuals learned, and we can figure out how to apply it and what to do with it. And that was the exciting part about it. It was authentic, real life, and not just kind of theory and people hiding. People were not afraid to talk about what real things were happening. And that was
and then on top of that, I felt like I go to certain conferences, and I either go into a meeting or a teaching or a training, and I learn absolutely nothing, and it's like the most surface level BS thing I've ever heard. Or I go into like another one where it's like way too technical, where it's like it doesn't really even apply to me ever. And I felt like every single speaker, my head hurt after at noon. My head was like, I can't put anything else in. And it was all different topics that like everyone I felt needs to learn or know. And everyone came from again, going back to what Bindi said, like there's so many incredible speakers from all walks of life and all areas of cyber. And we were able to communicate like our speech to the general public, and to also like on a technical level, or it's not like so general that it doesn't help anyone. But it was just so interesting to like learn and see. And again, it's unlike any, like sometimes I go to conferences just to see people. Sometimes I go to conferences just to be there myself as a presence. But like, I haven't found a conference where I'm like excited to go for like every part of it. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm excited to go for the people. I'm excited to go for the learning. I'm excited. You know, it was like there was like no part of it where I'm like, oh, it could have improved, like at all.
1,000%. And you can
I mean,
walk
I have
out.
ways that it could have improved. I have many ways it could have improved, but
Well,
that's
that's the
I was behind the
perfectionist in
scenes.
us, right? It was so well done. And even leaving the conference, right? We had new relationships, new friendships fostered and built, which is an indicator of just the gravitas of the folks that you put together, but actionable insights that we can carry on, whether it was the students or the, seasoned professionals. There was everyone left with something and some gifts.
Oh, and some gifts. Every speaker. I don't know if we should talk about it. I think I have one of these
Oh
books
no,
here.
yeah.
You guys talk about the books you got. Did you? Or is that supposed to be? It's a sneaky book,
It's a
and I'm not
sneaky
supposed to
book
talk
and it
about it at
stays
all.
on my shelf.
Oh, I missed the book memo. I'm gonna need one.
Wait,
I didn't get
did you
one.
not get the
No.
book? Oh, well, I will be
Thank
sending you one.
you.
It's a
But I
very
have a
hefty
video
law
of
book
it.
for you.
Wait a second. Wait a
Good.
second. You did not get
I
a
did
sneaky
not get a
book? Okay,
sneaky
well
book.
then the person that was handing them out will
Hmm.
hear about that. But you will get one. You will get one. So we got law books for all the speakers.
Oh, cool.
But when you open up the law book, it's actually a beverage
Even
inside.
cooler. So that's where I can put my coffee, right? My espresso.
Correct. Whatever form of a beverage you want to put in there, and hide it on the shelf. But I will make sure you get one. I did not know you didn't because one, I wasn't responsible for handing them out. So we will make sure you got it.
Awesome.
I think you know what it was. It was probably assumed you got it on the first day, or that we were going to give it to you on the second day. But I will make it up to you, Bindi. Don't you
Thank
worry. You
you.
might get it on Tuesday when I see you at Blackhat.
Yes.
So, well, I loved the fact that you were both there. I loved the crowd. But let's talk about what you guys are doing next, right? We've done so much since then. It's God, I can't believe it's almost been a month since we were actually last together. And we have lots of things coming up, not only Blackhat, but like initiatives in regards to the fact that Bindi, you're launching a new
Yeah.
career. Caitlin, you just launched a whole new program. And so what's going on? Let's hear it, ladies. Who wants to go first?
I see the point. I see the point. I'll go.
She's pointing to
Yeah,
you.
so I took the summer off, spend time with my daughter, and really take stock of, like you mentioned earlier, Shannon, our ecosystem is evolving, and Caitlin, like our industry is shifting. And there's, silver lining across the board. So I've joined the Global Council for Responsible AI and supporting them as their Chief Global Alignment Officer. And that role will help not only contribute to bridging what we're doing between the public and private sectors, but also across the 73 or so countries that we're already in to say, how do we promote a framework and provide training and potentially advisory services um, with strategic partnerships that bridge the gap between what we're seeing from an AI framework perspective, because AI is everywhere, and how do we responsibly operationalize it and ensure that not only our cybersecurity components, but our privacy, right? We are future proofing as we expand on this technology. So I'm super excited about that. I have some speaking engagements coming up. So I'll be at the ISSA event in September and CruiseCon in
Ooh.
October, doing a couple virtual talks and just really looking at what type of role I want to take next that will not only bring the most amount of impact to our industry. I'm a huge advocate of digital trust, driving transformation, strategic execution, campaigning security in our environment, right? Force multiplying the message. I don't need a giant team of folks. We need to influence and have every person be a defender and be educated and have security just be a part of our normal everyday lives. Like we're on LinkedIn Live right now, or streaming, and we're using technology every day. How do we ensure that we're effective and safe and our families are. So really indexing on that front. Now, whether that's at a full-time role, I know we were chatting a little bit before this, like what are the other opportunities out there? Is there a startup? Is it enterprise? So thinking through that, and having strategic conversations and bringing my tribe of mentors, so I'm super grateful for and their coaching and just taking time to contribute to the industry while I figure out what's going to be next from a professional landscape.
I'm excited and I can't wait.
It'll be
I
good.
will be texting me like, so what did you
Yeah.
decide?
Yes. Yes.
That's awesome.
All right, Caitlin, you're up.
Oh,
You've got big things
Yeah.
coming up.
Well, I started the Cyber Career Club. I launched that, which I'm really excited about because I would have never ever gotten into cyber if I didn't have my mentors asking me and telling me what it was all about and teaching me and training me on the job. And so the Career Club is really different from other things. It's more of like a networking, like they get their questions answered. I give them free trainings and office hours, and they get to like meet other people that are trying to get into cyber, and they have study groups for certain certifications. So really excited about launching that. And then we're launching a podcast, which we're going to be filming a lot at Blackhat. And Bindi, I don't know. I know Shannon's going on it, and I was going to ask you but you're only there Tuesday, but we can still film it. We'll figure out.
Yeah.
But the podcast is really interesting because I always get asked like, oh, what's the craziest story in cyber? And I'm like, I don't know. I did cyber transformation. There's only so much I can talk about. But I also, it really makes cyber, it kind of like bridges that gap between like what cybersecurity is and like what people do and make it like, it makes it interesting. And so my podcast is going to be very different from other podcasts. It's not going to be back and forth long form. It's, 8 to 10 minutes of me handing people the mic and just hearing cool stories about what people have done in cyber. So I'm excited for that. I am building in stealth-ish mode right now. Obviously, I'm going to talk about it. This is the first time I've actually talked about it. But a company that ideally would be powered by AI to teach and train people on how to identify phone and like text and phone call scams. Because there's really nothing out there that's fixing that issue. We've been working on this for like 8 or 9 months now. So that's exciting. There's a lot of fun stuff. I mean, I'm just trying to build. I have some speaking. I'll be at Blackhat. I get to speak with Shannon at Blackhat, which is freaking awesome. And
yes,
yeah,
Wednesday.
but honestly, I want to continue to build the brand and continue to kind of educate the public on things that they need to know about. So I recently was on the news talking about the T app. I talked on ABC News, and then I actually just finished with BBC Radio. But just being able to communicate complex topics down to something that people actually understand. And and there's other podcasts in the mix. So, there's a lot of stuff, but I'm really excited about the Cyber Career Club and the podcast. Those are the two things that are coming up that I'm like, this is going to be great. So, yeah.
I'm excited too.
I can't wait to hear about your podcast, to be honest with you. It's gonna be fun to hear some of those stories.
I know.
Right?
I'm hoping most people can share these crazy
I'm
stories.
excited to see the lineup. I know some of them, but I don't know your whole lineup. And I am sure
I got some good
some
ones.
of the stories that they're allowed to share are going to be fun because right, as you put it to me, Caitlin, it's a story that you would go home and tell your significant other. So it's not the technical jargon. So you're going to really get that crass story of like, oh my gosh, you should have seen what happened today. Or this is what happened to me today. And try to explain it as if you would explain it to your children or your other half. And I'm excited to hear how some of these individuals twist these technical stories into a like storytelling aspect. I'm actually more intrigued in how they're going to tell something that they're not allowed to tell, but they're going to tell it anyway because they're going to like hide some aspect of it, and I'm going to be like, oh, what really?
Well, hypothetically,
who
Shannon.
That from?
Yeah. Well, hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
Shannon, what are you doing?
This is exciting. What am I doing? Some days I'm not really sure because I'm really just trying to catch up on everything from the conference. I mean, most people don't even know this, but I'm a mom of 2, 6 and 8-year-olds. So that's my spare time, not my full-time gig, right? I'm a part-time mom. No, I'm really not. I'm a full-time mom. It's a joke. I say I work too much and not hang out with them enough, but to be honest with you, I'm kind of shocked that they're not in this office right now, because the door usually right now, as anyone knows, they barge right in and start asking questions or tattletelling on each other at this point. I did beg them before this not to come upstairs, so I'm not sure if I'm going to win yet, but we'll see what happens. But my next steps are going to be fascinating, right? I've got to make a big decision if we're going to do this conference again. And from everyone's gathering, we've got, I think it's a yes. So more to come on that in the next few weeks. And then for my business, I too am going down a path. For the last year, I've been building an application. And so we're slowly coming out of stealth mode, and we're going to be promoting it and announcing it. And it's all going to be around supply chain management. So I'm breaking the mold and getting out of GRC world and trying to make my life a little bit more repeatable and better for others. So more to come in that. And then hopefully in the near, like 2 months, next quarter, we'll be making a big announcement there, but it's been really exciting. And then I'm getting into teaching. I love to teach people. So over the coming weeks, at least once a week, you will start seeing me teaching on topics. I'm giving away the secret sauce. So you're going to actually see me dive in and explain what it takes to do some of this work, right? It's not just, hey, let me talk about theories. I'm going to show you how to do it, how to dive in and really assess why things get so complicated and why people struggle to pass an engagement, right? Like, and yes, I'm talking about audits, right? I help people get through the pains, and everybody wants to sit there and say, why can't I rely on a JSON file? Or why can't I do this? Or why do these auditors take a million screenshots? Well, let's talk about it. And I'm going to show you
I
why.
took so many
And then
screenshots when I had to do it. I only audited a few companies. Never, first of all, props to you. I do not like to be the most hated person in the room. Let's just be real about that. Second off, like, I want to just believe people, okay? Like, I don't want to constantly question. Can you show me the proof?
come on.
Show me the proof.
Trust but
Show
verify,
it to
though.
me.
That's the verification part. But I'd rather have an automation do it. It's as opposed to sifting through all the
Yeah, but
screenshots and different formats and
wait a second.
correlating it.
We just proved recently automation, you can't even verify that, because that, what is it, on Riplet, the AI tool that lied and built bad code and then deleted an entire database, just basically told us AI automation doesn't work either. So
Did you hear about the AI agents potentially breaking or being able to bypass CAPTCHA?
oh gosh, this is gonna
It's like, so how do you say I am not a robot? Or okay, well, technically you've been trained off of the human brain, so sidebar. But yes, there's definitely some
well, it's good.
indexing we need to do on the automation
It
front.
is gonna be so much fun, but I agree. But so that's why I want to give away the secret sauce, because I want to have this conversation with people and say, this is why we can't do it. Now tell me why. Because at the end of the day, what most people don't realize is they haven't figured out how to explain the
Mm.
why to get to the next stage. They just say, well, this is what it is. That doesn't get anyone past next stage. Let's get the why down so everybody can get comfortable with it. And so I'm giving it all away, and I'm going to tell you the whys. And now I want somebody to come back to me, well, this is how we're going to do it better. Because that's what I want to get out of this. I want people to come back with ideas and thoughts so we can improve this world. Because to be honest with you, it is, just like you guys said, awful being the person that's telling everyone that they're wrong and they didn't do it right. And I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really audit anymore. I help management get through the audits. So I'm always explaining the whys and getting the evidence and getting rid of it. Or I should say my teams, because I more run things outside of it these days. But
So
no, yeah, so I've got big things coming up, but a lot more of explaining and teaching, and I'm really excited about this application. If you guys get to hear me speak about it, I'm extremely passionate about it, because I want to help mid-sized companies. I want to help the mid-sized and small companies that are at this point in time are going to be in trouble if they don't get caught up, they don't understand the technology, they don't do things a certain way. They're in so much trouble. And so especially with the way things are, and they're getting faster, right? What is it? 60% of businesses in the mid to small to mid-sized organizations, if they get hacked, they go out of business in 6 months. That's a scary number.
or
So,
fail an audit, right? I mean, there's
or
what
fail an
those
audit.
threats look like. A poor audit can have you shut down. So that's super exciting, Shannon, that you're taking this like cyber risk quantification. I'm going to say risk for all the threats that are out there, right? Whether it's from hackers, whether it's from failing audits or whatever that looks like, and then translating that to dollars to then be able to make boardroom decisions that, you know, ripple throughout the supply chain and end up with our end users.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
exactly. And that's
fantastic.
the fun part. And everyone's gonna be like, wait, what do you mean you're gonna be able to? I am using my accounting brain and applying it to cybersecurity. That is what we're doing here, which is fun. I'm actually, yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. When we do a big announcement, I'm just gonna bring you guys back and we're gonna talk about it live.
Love it.
Love it. Well, I truly appreciate you guys, but I would love for you guys before we hang up and go down, what is something you would tell the audience, right? We've got students watching, we've got friends watching it, we've got colleagues, but what is something you would promote to the audience at this point of what they should be aware of? Because probably should do some, cybersecurity awareness thing beyond just us gossiping, but I don't think we're gossiping, informing,
Informing.
politely informing of what's going on in the world.
And for tech leaders and CISOs alike, we need to be aligning our security posture with business outcomes. We talk about, ignore my doorbell ring, but we talk about, the day of the security purists and thou shalt not pass, and here's 100,000 vulnerabilities, like needs to be peeled back and say, hey, how does our program align with our outcomes, right? And when we talked a little bit about transformation, we need to similarly look at moving from kind of an implementation mindset to validation. Prove what's working. We talked about fail fast earlier, and iterate on what's not. From a GRC perspective, I think those leaders it would be helpful to understand that, hey, you're not just a risk function. You're the connective tissue between trust and
Yeah.
transformation. And what is the foundation of so many of our security programs, right? It is your policies, your governance, your whatever that regulatory framework looks like, and have security be baked into those compliance requirements that then you're continuously, right, validating and understanding drift from those. But it is a trust function that's super important, and not just a policy that someone might write.
Oh, you are speaking my language. I can't wait to write a book with you.
Yes. And for our founders, like my friend Shannon and Caitlin, and so many, right? The industry is booming with new opportunities and technologies. I think, again, trust needs to be the moat. Bake it into the product roadmap earlier on before customers are demanding it. And that is so many of the things that we talked about during your conference.
Yep, exactly.
I
All
love
right,
that.
Caitlin, you're up.
I'm going a different route. I always like to say cybersecurity starts at home. I think the current
Mhm.
training and aware, like you're only as strong as your weakest link, and your weakest link is literally your people. It's not, unless you're like not updating software. Maybe it could be a mix. Don't argue with me on that one. But I really do think the people are our weakest link, and outdated trainings is not going to cut it. And I'm so tired of hearing people like, I love CISOs. I really do. We love our technology, and we like to be in our own little bubble where we're like in a closet, like coding and making sure all the firewalls are right, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's people centric. Cybersecurity is a people and a human issue. And if we don't address it like that, and if we don't put the appropriate amount of dollars into training and awareness, not just check the box training, but actual awareness, and actually talk to the general employees, not just other people in your underneath you in like in IT, then we're not actually doing our job correctly, and we're not actually securing the company. And I think there's good training programs out there, but I also think they're very generic. And one thing I guess a shameless plug, I'm working on coming up with a cybersecurity awareness kind of all encompassing like guide, have videos like companies can use on their Slack channels for more like awareness, like PDFs that they can use. that really bring training to the broader audience, cyber training. But I am a little sick of hearing CISOs not want to spend money on training and awareness, because it's mostly awareness, not just a training part. Trainings check the box to me. Awareness is like constantly letting them know, and it's not letting them know, oh, don't be the cause of a breach of our company, but it's showing them how to protect themselves will teach them how to protect the company too. And so I think that just having a mind shift of like, yeah, you can spend them. When I was a consultant, I saw so many companies waste millions of dollars on stuff that honestly would sit on the shelf. Yet they were so stingy with buying trainings. And I understand that like training's not, I mean, I also never worked at a training company, provider company, by the way. So this is not like a plug for any of them. I'm just saying like training and awareness is so important. And I feel like it's the last thing people think about. But honestly, if you look at a majority of the breaches, like it's caused by people. So just
the biggest breaches are caused by people.
Identity is the perimeter, and they are our first lines of defense. And then we talk about cyber defenders, like absolutely 100%. But they're not investing. We need to invest in our people.
Some of the biggest breaches happen just at a help desk, right? Like,
and it's ironic. I think there was a study that showed that most of the breaches happen with the IT like personnel help desk, or even CISOs that would be clicking on links that like we're not supposed to. Like I don't remember what study. I'll have to look it up again.
You're gonna find that one. Well, someone just posted on my feed, because I posted something about supply chain management and how a lot of people, now that we're going into the cloud, are not doing BCDR. So they don't have a plan because they think everything's going to be up and running. And we're seeing across the board that that's not the case. People are losing access to certain elements. And can they be down for 12 hours? Can they be down for 8 hours? And what happens if they do go down? Do they know the next steps? And to be honest with you, even people who have been doing this for years are forgetting how to do mundane things that they used to do 10 years ago. Well, why would they, right? They're expecting to be up and running. And it's pretty amazing that you forget about that, but it all goes back to people training and people experiences. And someone's behind the keyboard clicking it or setting it up or doing something. So your AI tool doesn't get deployed in your environment without someone hitting those buttons. So how are you making sure that they do it properly or configure it properly or aware of what's going on? But when I was doing that, someone replied today and was like, actually, this is a great thing. We're actually seeing there's more risk on the AI tools internally than external risk. And that's because people are internally leaking data now because they're using AI tools and they're just putting information in. And now everybody has access to it. We're creating new forms of data lakes, and nobody's thinking like this, right? Remember all the days of the day where we create everything central and run reports off of it? Well, an AI tool is just another form of that, just doing it faster and creating your own version of reports. So now we're in a different predicament because you can't
cross-boundary
prevent people from getting access to some of it. So
yeah, segmentation, cross-boundary. And I think like Caitlin's point, right? CISOs we need to be focused on resiliency and business resiliency and not perfection. And that as we're investing in automation and control validation and reporting to the business and all this stuff, that resiliency factor comes from the people first, right? Processes next, technology, not necessarily in that order, but it is a people-centric business.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much for joining my first ever live podcast. Not podcast. I don't even know what you call this, but my first ever LinkedIn live. I did put a logo there. I called it the HiNoon Cyber Saloon. I don't know. I was playing around with it, so we'll see. We'll see. But
I should have worn a cowboy hat.
I wore my vest though. Is this
it's
Western?
Yeah, your vest. I went a little formal with the shirt, but I'll work on mine.
At all.
But yeah, so for those, we are going to do another LinkedIn Live tomorrow with Carol House and maybe Noelle. We're going to find out if she's still available. But I'm really excited to have Carol House talk about what she's doing and really what happened as she was leaving the White House. She was advisor there, but she's got a lot of great stories too. So she's going to jump in tomorrow. And then on Friday, I am doing a live training all around where is my data moving from physical to digital with emerging technology. So we are going to dive into really your supply chain on the digital side of the house. So I'm really excited. Again, thank you, ladies, for being my first. And thanks, everybody, for joining
Thanks for
us.
having us.
Thank you, Shannon.